Hello, another quickie live. I think we're all feeling the pain of not being able to go and source stuff. So I've got some stuff from a little while ago. It's stuff I'm working my way through, photographing and listing, but I realised I hadn't shown it to you, so I thought, why not? I was getting bored of doing work, to be perfectly frank. If you hear noises off stage, that's simply because hubby and son are redecorating his room, and I have to say it's going to be in the most delicious dark blue colour. It's going to look amazing, but I'm kind of letting them get on with it and keeping out the way. So I'll wait and see who pops in. I guess it's lunch. I suppose it's lunchtime, isn't it? We had an early lunch here, bacon butties. Hungry doesn't even begin to cut where my two fellas were coming from. So we had an earlier lunch. Hello, Dowell. Dowell the sweat up at nice. I think that's Heather. That's like me when I'm typing. Hello, Mum of 5 sons. Hello, L33 Mrs. That's Carrie, I think. Hello, Becca Faduke. Lovely to see you. And Nia. Hello. Lovely to see you. Yeah, it's just a bit of a distraction. I've had a lot of problems with some of my older drafts, and I do have a lot of drafts, it's true. But I had an issue where I'd do a draft and then I'd make copies, and the copies then wouldn't let you back in. So all that time and effort was wasted. In fact, it isn't completely, because whatever was going on now has been corrected. So I'm able to make a copy of the faulty draft that it tells me there's a problem, won't let me in, and then I can work on that one. So but it's work I really didn't need to do twice. Is this the first time I'll hear the end? Lovely, Dale. Brilliant. Yeah, I'm in a bit of a mess here, to be perfectly honest. Which one am I going to show you? I know. I'll say which one. I'm surrounded by town. I don't think I've shown you these. Please, somebody stop me if I have. I'm kind of nearly there with it all. I'm doing a big bagging session after all of this. I'm taking it all up to the shed now. That's not really worth showing you. That's just everything here was around the £2 mark. I tend to buy stuff from that charity shop because everything was £2, or I've got it from my friend. So this is actually a Gap top that was my son's, so it's not really a haul, but I'm going to be selling it because he thinks it's too short for him. He's outgrown it. You've had the draft problem. Yeah, what you need to do, I found out. Hang on. Oh, good Lord. Oh, that's what. Yeah, sorry. What you actually need to do is to find the draft copy. Don't try and open it up, but the one that's not letting you in, and just make a copy with the pictures, and then you can work on that one and delete the faulty one. It'll save you a lot of time. It took me a while to work that out, so if that's of help to anybody else, all well and good. Okay. I can't remember what I showed you now, so oh dear. It's the joys of it, isn't it? I like this. It has got a problem, unfortunately. It's a £2 one. It's a lovely jacket. It's a men's jacket, and it is it Yves Saint Laurent? Yeah, Yves Saint Laurent. Now, the problem with it, my name's coming out in all sorts of ways. He to her. The problem this has, and again, I think I got this on one of the last days of the charity shop, is it has this. Now, that could be fixed by somebody, and because it's Yves Saint Laurent and really rather splendid evening thing, I probably am not going to try and repair that. I will sell it as is, obviously at a reduced rate, but it's got a lovely satin collar, and it's double-breasted, so it's kind of it. It's got a look, but obviously that affects its price. But I didn't pay a massive amount for it in the first place, so you know. Ooh, hang on, chat's jumped. Whoa, everyone's in. Oh, hello. Who am I saying hello to? Should be polite, shouldn't I? Right. Hello, Lisa J. Good afternoon. Oh. You like that jacket? It could be very you. It's very James Bond. I mean, it's very Sean Connery James Bond. It's absolutely glorious, and I think that could be repaired quite easily because it's a black fabric. But it's just so stylish. You know, it look amazing with like a proper wing collar shirt and the bow tie, kind of casually undone. You know the look. Oh, hello, Dawn. Dawn Cherry Ball. I am all good and fine and dandy. I can't remember. I'm getting the feels that I might have showed you this little bag. This is not meant to be that creased up. It's the reason I'm familiar with it is because I photographed it and then it's got all creased up again. It's one of those sort of handkerchief hem type Peruna skirts. It's nothing amazing. 14 long though, and being a longer length is a good thing. You're more like Brooke Bond. Oh. I don't quite know what to say to that. I think that's. Don't do yourself down though. Was this the day I got all my suits? Might be actually. I really like to buy menswear. I do find it very easy to do. This is a linen, so it's a bit out of season. A linen jacket, not really for this country at this time of year, but this is quite a good brand apparently, which I didn't realise. Favorbrook. And it's actually, it's a suit. There are trousers with it too. Nicely lined. It had a good quality feel to it. And for the £2 I think I paid, I'm not going to argue with that. I have already photographed it, so the fact it's all creased up again like a dish rag is neither here nor there. See, this is unusual. When you get really good quality men's trousers, obviously some people probably realise this, they have things like adjustable sides. So that gives you a bit of leeway. They're all nicely constructed inside. Yeah, attention to detail. And I think well-made men's clothes are a thing of joy. I wish sometimes some of that expert tailoring would be applied to ladies' clothes, to be honest. Yeah, I have shown you these. I'm just realising that now. Okay, well, I'll move swiftly on because there's more. Yes, of course I've shown you that. Let's start the dress. Right, stuff I haven't shown you. This was a strange find. This was hanging up inside out, so it had this kind of very polyestery look. And I thought, ew, that's a bit of an eyeful. This was from the £2 shop. When I got it home and turned it the right way out, it's still a bit of an individual taste, and it's quite a small size, but it's very frilly and flouncy. Couldn't be further away from me. But it was brand new with its tags, and not only that, it was Kate Moss Topshop. So these go for quite a bit of money. Now, this has got a couple of issues, which is probably why it's ended up at a charity shop. It's got a slight pull at the front there, a couple of tiny pulls. Again, there's a lot going on here. And it also had, and I haven't attempted to repair this, it has at the very base of the zip, someone's obviously tried this on and been a bit rough with it, to be honest. There's some pulls there, but it was pretty damned expensive. It was €228 new. So I think what's happened there is the shop have pulled it because it's been damaged in transit. It photographed quite nicely. I did find a stock shot of it where it looked a lot better than it did on my mannequin that I've buried in the photos. But, you know, that will get some good money even in its current state. So that was quite a decent find. Jeans I wouldn't normally bother to pick up unless they were very cheap. These were not your daughter's jeans, but they're nice. They're nice high-waisted ones. These. The only sad thing is they have got these on the back, and as you can probably see from that, yeah, you can see it. There are sequins that are missing. There are some sequins missing, but you know, if somebody wants a pair of not your daughter's jeans, I don't think they're going to mind too much. These are a UK 10. A US 6. So I still find they go. They're bread and butter things. They don't go for a lot of money. But, you know, there's some money in them. And at £2, yeah, worth a punt. Some charity shops, obviously, when they were open down here. Sorry, I don't know what's going on in my hair. I've got madness. Oh, I do look like a spaniel that's been left out in the rain. It's just getting on my nerves. Time for a fringe trim. Yeah, so they're starting to sort of click onto certain brands and prices are going up. So I wouldn't pay up for not your daughter's jeans is what I'm saying. This wasn't bad for £1. It's, look at that for colour. gorgeous mustardy yellow paisley print. It is silk. It hasn't got any labels on it, but I know it's silk. I can tell. And it's one of these sort of cravat type things that I just felt the quality of the silk there. I thought, I'm going to have that. Now, it has got a couple of tiny little blemishes, but in all fairness, it's quite a busy pattern, so I'm hoping that will do well. I had a surprise sale yesterday. Oh, hello, Wayne. Nice to see you. I had a surprise sale yesterday. What most people don't know is that I had a website for selling stuff before I became an eBayer, which is not normally the way around that people do it. I've a long time been a collector of vintage scarves, and when I collected so many that I thought, actually, I don't want all of these as a collection, I could sell them. My husband, as part of his learning, wanted to build a retail website. So he started to do that. Now, it was something that took a lot longer than we thought it would, and it took him about 3 years to do it. And it is glorious, and it's now up and running, and every now and again I'll get a sale. I've got some quite top-end scarves on there, and I had a lovely £150 sale yesterday, and a customer who's got a specific wish list of things that he wants, so I will be looking to try and source for him because it's well worth my time and energy. But of course, the upshot of it all is that's kind of how I got into eBay, because that wasn't moving fast enough for me, because I'm terribly impatient. I thought, oh, well, while I'm waiting, I'll just sell some stuff on eBay, because that's just down to me. I can crack on with that and not be waiting for the website. So that's how I started. And here we are. Here we are about 8 years later, and eBay's taken over everything, and my actual website it's called Vintage Scarves and Ties. If anyone's curious, that is the name of the website, which makes sense, because if you're looking for vintage scarves, or I was hoping ties, there's no ties on there, I never quite got round to that, that's the place to go, and it will pop up in people's searches. So, but anyway, that's how that happened, and that's why I know quite a bit about scarves and ties. Oh, hello, Queenie. I said, mother of Norman. That's what everybody says, isn't it? You must be getting bored of that by now. Terribly so. Right, what else have we got here? This was a nice find, especially for £2. Who doesn't love a bit of Barber? But this is the Steve... Oh, you can't really see. Barber and Steve McQueen collection. So this is their collaboration with the people who own the estate of Steve McQueen, I'm guessing. And they're very basic things. I mean, if you saw a jumper like that, you wouldn't think, oh, wow. But it does feel nice. It's not heavily branded. But, they come with this little thing. This is how I knew it was Barber, because you get that. 1964, Steve McQueen. I was a year old back then. But it is lovely, because it really is. It's got all this marbling in it. And just cat hair, by the look of things. Thank you, Freddie. Or Max. Freddie? No, can't possibly be Freddie. It'd be Tinker. Freddie was one of her old cats. Dear, I am losing it, aren't I? So this lovely condition cost me £2, and there's going to be some good money going on that. If I'd seen that in the charity shop at a higher price, I would have paid more. I will pay up on something if I know there's big money in it. You should have called one of your kids Norman. Norman's not really a current sort of... It's one of those names that will probably come back round again. But it's kind of not top of the pops at the moment, is it? But it is. It's a glorious name. But I think Queenie Conquest is a fabulous name. It's just magnificent. This is, talking of magnificent, this is a caftan. Yay. Right in your face job. It is vintage. It's ever so slightly semi-sheer, which kind of casts slight aspersions on who the hell's going to wear it. That was the label, and it took me ages to find out who this was. It's actually a brand called, is it Ella or Elia? I did Elida, Elida, E-L-I-D-A. It took me ages to work out who it was, and there are dresses on there, and they're quite pricey. This is glorious sort of polyester, crimpling, that kind of thing. But it's very Abigail's party. Absolutely superb. And I love the colours of it. Anything with blues and greens in, I'm drawn to. Yeah, and the Steve McQueen collection, I know they have jackets, and it's all sort of old style biker kind of look. But the jumper was a surprise because who knew? It's a jumper. 40 years since he died. Yeah, I remember my mum was very fond of Steve McQueen and Sean Connery. She was very fond of the pair of them. Yeah, it was of their era. My parents were quite young when they had me, so that puts it in context. I realise how tired and old I'm looking today too, but never mind. Right, this is again, doesn't look very much. It's just a sort of heather coloured, I believe is what they call it, although I look like I've died if you put me in that colour. Dreadful on me. But it is sandwich, not as in witch, but sandwich as in eating. It's a fairly expensive brand new. A lot of the stuff doesn't get a great deal secondhand, but something like a wool jacket is going to hold a little more value. You like old names, Queenie. I just think Queenie's a fabulous name. When I was very young, yes, and I say very young, there's an amazing person called Diana Dawes, and she had a TV programme that I think was meant to be a comedy, and she played somebody called Queenie, and I remember thinking that was quite a magnificent name to have. So, but I liked Diana Dawes anyway. She was very, very down to earth. Oh, hello, Mandy. Hello. So I'm having to sort of squint slightly because my eyes are tired. Now, this was an unusual thing. All of these things were £2, and I've had them sitting there for quite a while now. They've been drafted and they're scheduled, so you may not see them on my actual shop. This has got creased up again because it's been plunked in a bag. But it's like one of those. I have an All Saints coat that's a bit like this, where it kind of wraps over and does up with a bit of a. This isn't a zip one, this is a button one, and has a very sort of loose collar. Nice taupe colour, very neutral. But it's by another brand that I hadn't heard of. We're always learning. And this is Stills. Again, you can tell from the way it's put together, it's a decent brand. Is it just me? I absolutely hate it when they put these metal things in. It's meant so you can hang it up and not ruin the jacket. But if I've got that in a coat, I will literally get a rash at the back of my neck because it's metal and I'm allergic. And it's not silver or gold. So apparently Stills is quite a good brand. So I wasn't upset about that. I was almost tempted to keep it myself, but I don't tend to wear beige. Again, that reason of looking all very brown doesn't really suit. Right, here we go. Everything here was £2, in case I hadn't said. So this was another one, brands I've not heard of. I know these sort of quilty jackets can do well, especially right now. Very sort of bog standard-y looking item. Yeah, nice big pockets is at the front. This is vintage because it says Husky Limited. Does it? Husky Limited of Tostock, England. Insulated clothing manufacturers, Stowmarket, Suffolk. It's 42 long. So I wonder if that is a lady's or a man's. Again, I go by the sleeve length. That is definitely a man's. I've got short arms, but that is a man's. I hope I've drafted that correctly and not said it's a lady's. No, it must be a lady's because the buttons go that way. Left in, because from the idea of the right hand, the buttons going the other way so that the opening is on the right hand side, just so the fella can reach in for his weapon. I don't know, gun, knife, wallet. Who knows? That's how I remember it anyway. Oh, hello, Anne. Lovely to see you. Hello, Junie D. I do hope everyone's keeping well. We're kind of used to all this now, really, aren't we? They just need to crack on and sort that bloody vaccine out. That's what needs to happen. So I was quite pleased with that. That should get some reasonable money. I mean, when I say reasonable money, even if I'm paying £2 for something, I don't want it to go for less than 15, and I'd be very happy if it goes for a lot more. I tend to pick up fat face when it's the jeans and trousers. These are actually ladies, and they're more of a cottony one, so they're probably not really right for this time of year. But they can go on. Someone might want them. They're a size 12. I do quite like the fat face stuff because even when it's washed and faded and worn in, it's still nice. It still looks good. Oh, a pile's just gone. Bit of cleaning up for me to do. Oh yes, and I liked these as well. These were hanging together. White stuff. This is a size 14. This is one of their winter skirts. Again, very plain, but perfect for this time of year. Just with a little slit at the back there, nice little pencil skirt in a wool blend. Saturday afternoon. I don't know about you guys, but our weather here is just, it's kind of miserable. It's just miserable. And I'm looking at that and thinking, is there a colour issue there? Or is that just where the pocket goes? I think that's just how it is. It depends on what lights you look at something sometimes. You know, if you're working in artificial light, or you don't always see, and lights of the charity shops aren't always very good, so you're trying to look at things, but you also don't want to be there all week. So it's a bit, you know. So I have had fails in my £2 picks and things that I get from my flea market lady, because I'll get it home and find it's got a fault. I try and look at it as, if I can still sell it as is, I will. If not, it goes in the bag that's going to get recycled. And I look at the overall amount spent and my overall return that I'm expecting and think, yeah, that's still all right. You're allowed the odd mistake. These go well. I've sold this very design before. This is also white stuff, and this is embroidered on velvet. And this is a very good size as well. This is a 16. So that's a nice autumny skirt. You know, it's sort of leggings and boots kind of look. So there we go. Showing you those. Let me just restack. I can show you some more if I've got them. Have I got more? Yes, I've got a bit more to show you. I've made a bit of a mess, really. Yeah. Washing. You get things that need washing, don't you? Ostensibly, I picked these up thinking they might be good for my son. This is my flea market lady. And it works out a bit more, about £2.50 a piece, I think, rather than £2 an item. These are Adidas. They've got a mark on them, which I've tried trying to get out, but I think I'm going to put them through a wash. And I will sell them because they're actually far too big in the middle for my son. But they're quite nice. Modern Adidas, they're not vintage, sadly. So they'll get washed. These are some like dry fit. I always find the dry fit go well. Which way round are we? Back to front, side to side. What's going on here? Right, okay. They're kind of like loose joggers. They've got zippy pockets, zip pockets at the back, and they have zips at the ankles as well. So I suppose they're a kind of a running sport kind of bottom to wear. In pretty good nick, but I just thought they could do with a freshen up. It was smelling a bit cupboardy. And that's what you've already seen that. And I can't resist a leather jacket. And thankfully, finally, they're starting to sell. I think I'd started collecting them quite some while ago. I just had a feeling that people would want them again. This one is quite big. It's got plenty of wear. It's well worn in. It's strange enough. It says it's made in China, but it hasn't got a very modern feel. It's definitely vintage, but obviously it was made in China some time ago. Garden leaf. Now, clearly, at some time it had a liner, which I don't have, and the size is XXL. But it's going to be sort of like a 90s jacket. It's a look. Nice quality leather. Like I said, I really didn't pay very much for it, so I can't bear to see stuff like that go to waste. gosh, yes. Right, there's something different. I'll show you them in a minute because they were a good one. Right, I was struggling a little bit for things to find. Picked up this belt. This would have cost about £1 actually. These weave belts seem to go quite well. This is a very rustic style, I would say, but it's from Accessorize. Oh no, it's from East. It's from East. Which, as we all know, is quite a brand that has a bit of a following. There we go. It's a nice cincher type belt. I'll put that in, I won't lose it. Oh, this was the belt my lovely friend Anne, don't know if she's watching or if she watches, she repaired this for me. This was a belt I found a while ago and it was missing one stone. And bless her, she has repaired it for me. And it looks so lovely. I'm so tempted to keep it myself, but it's actually too big for me. Never thought I'd say that, but there you go. And this was the brand Devil's Club. Devil's something anyway. And I did do a little bit of research on it, and I know that it's going to do well. Now I can pop it on. Handmade in Italy, genuine leather. Guessing it's a fella's one, I'm not sure. I'll have to get the magnifying glass out. Where's it gone? Where are you? Nope. I'm in chaos at the moment. I need to have a good old tidy up of my office. But the writing on that is tiny. Devil's Skin, that's what it is. So that's quite a brand there. I just thought, what a cool thing. So that's going to get some extra special treatment before that gets listed. That's just my phone. Why did I pick this up? I picked up this jumper. Oh, it's Jigsaw, that's why. Jigsaw, it's not very new design by any means, but that's quite cool. It's got the cable knit on the front, sort of crop length. And this was one of those ones where I got home and then realised it had a little bit of a repair on the back. Again, it's, we'll declare it. Somebody might not be that bothered. But that was slightly annoying. Because you haven't got time to look at everything. I haven't researched this stuff in here yet. Now, I hear people talking about this brand on the American channels. This is junk food. The weird thing about this is that is incredibly faint. It's Mickey Mouse, and it says USA on it, and there's a Mickey Mouse in there. There we go. Oh, yeah, you can see him. Comes out better in photographs than on camera. My poor eyes. So I kind of picked it up more out of curiosity and interest, really. I don't expect it to go for a great deal. It's just I hadn't seen the junk food label here. It's an American thing. Oh, hello, Thrifty Trooper. Happy to see you. This is a haul from before lockdown, by the way. But I do get some things from a contact that I've got, so I'm not completely without stuff, but I'm not buying very much. It's few and far between. This is Max Studio, which I don't always pick up, but I liked this for being stretchy, for being quite smart, for having pleats and being dotty, all things that are pretty much sort of on trend at the moment. So I'll put that there. I'm thinking, have I shown you these? You get into that thinking, have I already shared this? Am I really boring the arse? Was it a sweatshirt? Was this the junk food one with the... it's not a sweatshirt, it's a t-shirt. If we're talking about the junk food, it's just a plain t-shirt. As I say, probably not a great deal of cash in there, but it's quite a nice one. What size is it? It's not going to tell me. Junkfoodforever.com. It's a modern thing. I think I hear, is it the empty hanger? Maybe called the empty hanger. Oh, it hasn't even got a fabric thing in it anymore. I pick these up when I see them because they do go. Good bread and butter stuff. This is a crew clothing version. I'll also pick up the Ralph Lauren version. Cable knit cotton jumper in red. Very bread and buttery. I'll buy stuff even if it's not stuff that I'm going to go completely crazy about, because, you know, this lady and I have supported each other through lockdown 1, and, you know, I'm going to buy some stuff from her every week, and I like to make it a reasonable amount, because otherwise it's hardly worth her while. So, yeah. So, you know, I'm not crazy about everything. This was quite a good find, though. It's brand new with its tags. It's Joe Brown's, and it's one of their classic crushed velvet hippie boho type tunic tops. I'm not saying that it would go for enormous money, but bread and butter, good bread and butter stuff. Yeah, these were strange. Again, I will pick things up just because to learn something new, to be honest. I thought, oh, these are very odd. When I felt them, I thought, well, that's a bit odd. That's not leggings. And in fact, we got warm wool-rich blend on it, and that's on the outside, which I thought, again, was strange. But these are Extreme Mountain Warehouse Merino. In fact, they're 80% merino, not completely merino leggings. So these are very good for people who go out in cold weather because they're an insulating layer. So anyone that's out on a bike, a motorbike, walking and needs to keep warm. These look unused, which is the other reason why I picked them up. And I do sell them. I do sell stuff like this because I think it's very expensive new. So we're getting near the bottom of the pile. I do hope everybody's well and managing this lockdown Mark II. I suppose we're sort of more prepared for it than we were for the last one. And, you know, in a lot of ways, it doesn't seem to be terribly lockdowny in the sense of, yes, there's some shops that are shut, but there's an awful lot of shops that are still open, and they kind of managed to do it by having some food. So there's a big shop called Refugees, and in effect, it is actually a charity shop. And obviously it does very good work, I mean, clearly. But apparently they are allowed to open because they've started to stock some food, like basics. And I kind of wonder how and why. But they're kind of billing themselves as a vintage emporium. As long as the food's not vintage, we're all right. Vintage tea, madam? No, thank you. But it is all a bit odd that all the other charity shops are shut and losing income, and these guys are able to stay open, which is a tad unfair, I would say. Tad unfair. But anyway, so it really isn't as quiet as you would think it would be in lockdown. I had a strange experience of going all the way down into the town to post the scarf that I sold, the £150 scarf that I sold, which was lovely. And I printed out the label here, as I always do, shot off to the post office to hand it in, and their scanner doesn't work or wouldn't accept my parcel. So I'm like, what am I supposed to do then? You know, it needs to go. I've got it 48 hours, insured, tracked, signed for, and they wouldn't take it. The bloody post office. Sorry, I shouldn't rant, but it wasn't the guy behind the counter's fault. I just thought, what is the point in being a post office if you can't actually accept a parcel that's prepaid? So I ended up this morning having to go to the post office depot, you know, the sort of big place, and drop it off there. And apparently it's quite a well-known problem. And no wonder why I use my Hermes a lot of the time, but I wasn't going to use them for that. I needed a different service. These are quite good. This brand Hackett is quite popular around these parts. These are button fly, kind of a real sandy colour, well, brown I suppose, but sort of tan colour trousers. Hackett London. They're very expensive new. I don't know what I'll get for these. They're quite a long length as well, which helped. They're 34-inch leg. Just casual twill jean type things. So I was quite pleased with those. And what I thought was the best buy, and again I haven't researched it yet, but I have sold this brand before, is Jack Wolfskin. And this is it's not a padded jacket, but it is a waterproof jacket. That's the brand there, Jack Wolfskin. Doing a splendid job of not showing you. Little bear print there, very cute. But I can tell it's all taped seams and it's very waterproof. And it's just a grey and black hooded jacket. So if my other Jack Wolfskin sales are anything to go by, that will more than cover the cost of the whole. So that's a bonus. So those are the things I bought. I think I spent £30 with my flea market lady this week, so that worked out at about £2.50 an item, which averaged out, as you can see, I'm getting little items and big items for the same, so that all works quite well for me. But the best thing was I don't go on Facebook Marketplace very often, but I do have a look and see if there's anything. And a chap was selling some walking boots. I'm like, okay, let's have a look, see what they are. They're known as the Brasher boots. So I paid, and I had to go and pick these up from yesterday morning. Yes, I was on time and I communicated. I wish everyone would do that on Facebook Marketplace. I bought these. These are the classic waterproof boot. I did look up the model and everything. I did that before I even offered to buy them. I paid him £15 cash for these, but they're a £100 boot. So that was well worth the trip. And it was actually right near where my stock garage is. So I didn't even have to go well out of my way petrol-wise. But they're in great condition. Somebody wore them once, I reckon. They're a size 10. They're quite heavy because these boots, and they're leather and suede, and just lovely. Such good condition. They're better than the pictures were, to be honest. They're called the Hillmaster Classic Boot, size 10. So I was very pleased with those, and they'll get listed right away because, you know, they're actually really a proper hill walking, mountaineering kind of boot. They're not your hiking boot that you get from Go Outdoors or whatever. They are the proper one. In fact, I think that brand has been swallowed up by one of the big brands has kind of taken over Brashers, but people like the brand, so it has a following. So there we go. That's what I found. Now, in other news, I have put out there that at one time there was some request for stuff on my kind of my other life, not my other life because it's all part of the same thing, but my sort of witchy aspects, I suppose. And I'm pleased to say that I have spoken with Becky, who's the lady I'm going to be working with, and in fact it's going to be her channel eventually. I'm just helping her because this is her path, and I'm just helping her on her path to start up a new channel where witches can chat and discuss things and take on questions from the chat and so on. There's a lot of people out there, especially people who are interested in paganism or Wicca or Druidry or what have you, who are feeling a bit isolated right now because they can't meet up in the ways they always used to. And I know we're not the first to ever do something like this, but this friend of mine, Becky, she's just brilliant. I mean, she's really, really good, and she'll be brilliant on screen as well. So what we're doing, you guys get the first heads up on this, is we're going to next Wednesday at 8 o'clock in the evening on this channel, because there's already people here. I figure that's a good place to test it. We're going to have a bit of a chat, a bit of a witchy chinwag, and everyone's welcome to the chat. Anyone who is interested, obviously, if that's not your bag, that's absolutely fine. But I'm kind of putting it out there because we just want a little audience and to see how it goes and test the water. And then what we will do is maybe do one or two more on this channel and then kind of decamp to a brand new channel which everyone can subscribe to, which will be dedicated solely to Becky and the everyday life of a witch. And, you know, obviously I will help her run it and get going with it. Yes, it's going to be fun. It's not all seriousness, and it's not going to be all fluffy light either, because life isn't all sunshine and unicorn poop, is it? You know, life is tough, and there are ethical questions and decisions and choices that have to be made, and that's true for everybody, you know, whether you're into the witchier side of things or not. But it's going to be generally interesting, I think, anyway. So do come and join us. Just a little plug for that there. You spelled the name correctly. Did I miss something there? Yes, you did spell the name correctly. Jacket's a fab. It will get listed. It will get listed with the faults. So I'm just putting it out there about the other things too that we're doing. But I suppose I really ought to crack on and do some more listing. damn, I distracted myself, didn't I? But yeah, and Becky's an amazing woman. You know, most people who get to a certain age and have had an interesting life and have been through all kinds of things, and Becky's no exception. Neither am I. But I think the main thing is that witches isn't something we do as a hobby. It's who we are. So everything in everyday life has a witchy aspect to it. It's how I source stuff, how I use my instincts and intuition to find things. I can't separate it off from me. It's who I am. It's what I do. And it is part of everyday life for us. It's very difficult to think of it being completely separate. But hey ho. Anyway, I've put that out there. So thank you all for joining me. I really appreciate it. It's a miserable Saturday afternoon in the middle of November, but it can only get better. And we all survived February the 13th, which actually is a goddess day. So, because Friday is named after a goddess. And Friday the 13th is a very auspicious day magically, and a great time to work. So it's not bad luck. So I will see you all later. Oh, Lainey's just popped in. Hello, my lovely. Big hug to you. You know where I am, should you need. But I'm going to end this channel here, and hopefully I'll be back on soon. Maybe not with a haul, but certainly with something to talk about. So take care, all of you. Oh, hello, Oliver, and bye-bye, Oliver. You're late. You need to go and stand in the corner. I will see you all later. Ta-ta, bye. Bye. Yes, I do.